Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the Gamerpreneur podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Bradford Carlton. Today I have a very special guest for you. I have Montica Sansook. How's it going, Tica?
It's going really well. We're doing the wonderful quarantine lockdown like everybody else, and spring cleaning hit hard. So if you know anything about pulling keycaps off of your keyboard, that's a fun game in itself.
I had the pleasure of just using some compressed air on my keyboard yesterday for some photos I was taking, and they fly now. It doesn't make a crunching sound. It's really weird.
Oh no! You might have to check out which keycaps, like if you got red, cherry reds, or blues, and if you still crave that little like mechanical.
No, I don't.
Okay, there you go.
It types much smoother now. So Tica, would you mind telling us a little bit about yourself to get us started?
Okay, so I am a lovely lady that has done a lot of different things. When people are like, hey, find your true path, I have reinvented myself about 6+ times. I think I'm going on my 7th. I started out really enamored with the U.S. women's soccer team back in the day of 99, like Mia Hamm and those lovely ladies. And that was about 10, 15 years of my life on a fast forward track to go to Duke to play. And then I think I got the big no-no after 2 severe concussions later that barred me from playing. I had to switch up track, go to pre-med for sports like medicine. And then I've always loved the art. So I was like, hey, I can always go back to like medicine. Let me try this art thing out while I still have no arthritis in my hands, despite being a goalkeeper. So art turned into that, and then it turned into video games, and I learned how to make 2D, 3D art, and then I was like, I really like business side. And then I found out there is a wonderful community out there, not many diversity. It's usually male dominated. So I'm like, all right, let's go be a role model. Let's go shift this up, shake it up, and I'll attack the whole gaming and esports side.
Beautiful. All right, so we got a little
since 2014.
2014. Okay.
Well, like officially in the industry since 2014.
Okay, so there's a little bit to unpack there. Before we do, I ask every guest this one question I want to ask you as well. On a scale of 10, and I kind of have an idea here. 1 to 10, 10 being high. How weird are you, Tica? 11. Why do you say that?
Because I try to go really like off the hat, but not like try hard sweaty type. Okay, here you go. Fortnite terms coming out. Anyways, but every day is like those moments where you don't know what is guaranteed to you in the next second. So you just try to pop off instantly what's in the head and try to stand out, I guess, with what's unique to you or what you enjoy. Happiness, man. Happiness.
I love it. It's the meaning of life is to be happy.
True.
Absolutely. Okay, so this is the Gamerpreneur. So before we get into any business stuff, I want to know your gaming cred. When did you first start playing video games?
I think probably when around the age when you could pick up a pencil, where you could cognitively like press things. So I would say like 5.
Okay.
5, 4? Yeah, a long time ago.
And what got you into it?
Hanging out with mom and dad.
Okay, mom and dad are gamers.
Yeah, like arcade games like Mortal Kombat, Tetris, Super Mario, like that fun stuff. And then they were like, hey, this is starting to come. It was like the transition from arcade to home platform. So our first like little Atari, and then the Nintendo first came into the house.
Fantastic. Okay. What do you play now?
I play a lot of Call of Duty now. And then I play some Heroes of the Storm. And then I play a lot of different mobile games, and I do a lot of art. So that's that. That's what I'm playing right now.
So which Call of Duty? The new Modern Warfare?
Yes, sir.
I'm not a huge multiplayer guy myself, but I love the story mode, and Captain Price's smile is just so precious.
It's so precious. I was really cheering on when Ghost made a comeback for season 2, because when Modern Warfare first introduced Ghost, I have an old like from 2011 cosplay of me as that for Halloween. I made the mask and everything. I was so proud.
And then they cap him. It was so sad. No.
But yeah,
All right.
to be continued. No spoil. Like, try not to spoil this too much for anybody who hasn't played, but go play.
Oh, that game's like 10 years old at this point. If they haven't played it.
I try to be nice.
Okay, Tica.
Yes.
You've played a lot of games. What would you say is your favorite of all time?
Man, that's hard. That's like
I know.
really on the mood. All time that I still reflect back on is two. Can I do two games, two titles?
Sure.
Okay. For story cinematic, I really fell in love with the Assassin's Creed 2 series, the Ezio trilogy.
Oh, yeah.
And then the other one that really got me swept away was a really pull between when Kingdom Hearts came out and then Final Fantasy X and X-2. But I would have to give it the 10 and X-2 over Kingdom Hearts for me.
Why 10-2?
As a female, there at that time was a lot of male-dominated main characters story arc, and in 10-2 was like, all right, time to evolve from a passive character to a main role to find yourself through the struggle and with your lovely group of friends through like not so much the easiest of levels to get through. You push forward to find your ending.
I love it. I played the heck out of 10-2. I beat that so many times.
Yes. Guilty. Very
You don't
guilty.
normally admit that you played that one, though.
You know, that's why I ranked myself 11 on the weird scale.
All right. Let's get to the preneur part. So what's your professional background? You say you've been doing business since, what, 2014, I think you said?
Yes. Okay, so business-wise, it went, like I said, from like 2014, 2016, I was really hard into freelancing, working with other game studios, help create art, design, mood boards, concept art. And then as starting our own indie studio called Defi, we had a very huge hole, a gap for actual proper entrepreneurship business mind and the terms and the lingo and the legal side that goes into protecting our assets and our IP. So then 2016, I graduated with my entertainment business master's in video games and esports. I was the only one to do that as my focus. Yeah. That was pretty fun. And so from there, it's been more of taking our experiences that I've grown and loved through face rolling in our own businesses and then sharing the value to other indie studios around us. And then it grew into professional like organizations to pro teams reaching out, being like anything from, hey, can you help us develop our branding to, is this a right decision between partnerships? How can we make an exit strategy?
Okay, so in a nutshell, like what do your services entail?
It kind of like a la carte in a way, if that makes sense.
You're just the person that they call, like, oh, I got a person.
Yeah, like, hey, that person that's over there, Tic Tac Fresh, Tica, like she's a nice person and she's legitimately want to help people. So that's not usually the person people call up, be like, hey, help me, please. I'm like,
okay. So let's see. You basically do everything. So what did you say your favorite aspect of what you do is?
My favorite thing out of this whole is kind of like creating a safeguarded, kosher environment for creativity to flourish. So I like to be the person, I've got kind of transformed into a person to shoulder a lot of like protect defense wise, and then people who are creating in the inside just to focus on their passion. Okay. And help them out.
And what are some things that I'm assuming we're talking like indie studios? What are things that they can do to do that?
In what regard?
To do what we were just talking about, to safeguard yourself, to build those walls.
Let's see. Okay, so one I would say is proper like scheduling, milestones, and management. And two, make sure you double back and make your business plan agile to adapt to whatever market and IP that you're creating at that point in time. So that way, as your project evolves, you don't run into detrimental project killing problems and issues further along. So like, for example, if you're solely focused on your concepting, make sure that your concepting and your vision for your brand and overall game style will also work for your demographic and your marketing that you're going to adhere to later.
Okay, so everything that you just said is probably brand new for a lot of people because I've met quite a few different developers, small indie developers. And if I say the words business plan, they look at me like, what?
Okay.
Is that something that you've seen?
People go like, what? With like business plan?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Is
Yeah.
this kind of a new concept for them?
I would say it's in the middle of the road. Business plan is kind of like this ambiguous cloud that a lot of people are aware of, but it's an intimidating storm cloud that people are afraid to tackle because a business plan to a lot of different people can mean multiple things. So traditional old business is like BP's business plans could be like dense novels that are like 50 pages thick, or in the new way, agile business plans, they're about 20 pages or less, and they're updated as the cycle moves forward. And it doesn't have to be a intimidating process. If anything, it could be a really great guiding light for anything from studios to esports organizations or even streamers to move forward of what they want to see throughout the year.
Okay. Now, what are the key components that they really need to be looking for when they're developing a business plan? I'm going to go down this road just because you brought it up.
No, you're great. You're great. This is awesome. Okay, so key things within a business plan is like your mission statement, like what your company represents and what your studio wants to do. Inside of it are the meat. You want to have things that cover like your finances, your marketing plan, your milestones of what kind of games you want to make the coming up year. Even I've had some friends who made business plan per IP that they make. I would also put in your value proposition, and that means what either your studio or your game represents or what it stands for and how you can curate your work cycle around that.
Okay, beautiful. Yeah. Now, you said your company is called Defi?
Mm-hmm.
And you were telling me on LinkedIn that you're currently working on a project. Do you want to speak to that a little bit?
Okay, so Defi is an umbrella corporation for us. This year, we are going to try to roll out 2 businesses officially, COVID bearing.
Quarantine permitting.
Yes. And those 2 things are Defi Games. We rebranded our indie studio to be in the direction of esports title-centric only focus. So that means we are anything that for balancing, lore creativity, community influence, will have esports as its first and foremost focus. And then on the second, this is a little bit more difficult because this is a brick and mortar on site, is Defi Esports Bar. And it goes into 2 states. It's a satellite, which is 3,000 square feet or less. Those would be next to universities, smaller venues, and then 3,000 plus would be big flagships by cities that support esports, 3,000 square foot plus venues that 100%, all of it, focused around amplifying esports nightlife. Boop.
Fantastic. Now, why did you guys decide to do that? Don't you know that gamers don't drink?
I'm not sure which gamers you've been talking to, but
I used to drink when I was playing Warcraft, while I was main tanking raid leading.
You're like, I gotta handle my stress somehow. Take a shot for every time somebody screams Leroy Jenkins into my headset. So we decided to go. We've been grinding on the esports bar concept since August 2015. And a lot of people in our team have been gamers for a long time. And we just kind of put 2 and 2 together and realized that, oh, hey, it would be nice if we went somewhere that was a physical location where we could talk about games and what League of Legends is doing or how the LCS is going, or to even hey, what's MLG doing now? And then we started throwing together that business plan to tie everything together.
Beautiful. All right. And, where did the concept come from? You were just sitting around one day with a group of people and you're like, I want to drink and watch games at the same time with people.
Yeah. So back in 2015, a lot of that's when the craft brew scene was starting to pop up more and more breweries were coming around. And we started noticing that a lot of breweries were aficionados of game culture. And we're like, wow, okay, Meltdown is doing great in like Europe, and they've been grinding hard since 2011, but their style is more pub centric, whereas in America that would work in a niche environment, but Americans need entertainment. So we just kind of like threw everything into a pot and like stirred it around, and then boom, esports bar.
Right. So this is probably one of the hardest interviews I've ever done because you do so much, and I'm like, I seem like I'm jumping everywhere.
You're doing great.
Let me ask, what resources have you used in order to learn what you do? Because, you know, it was only the past few years that you really started into business.
Oh, resources. I play LinkedIn like an MMO. That has been a great resource.
It's so easy to play too, isn't it?
Networking has been my greatest asset. I love just talking up to people, and I'm not afraid to approach anybody. So, and my pro key has been just ask people for advice. People love to talk about themselves, what they've learned, and if you're genuinely engaged with them, it's a unique, genuine interaction, and you can learn. It's just like the internet has been my best friend. Reddit. Let's see, what other places have I gone? Law Depot, and a lot of universities are offering a lot of free resources to read up and get to date on. That's about it.
All right.
Free courses.
Udemy. Free is always better, right?
Yeah. Internet's great.
Also talking apps, you know, in the case you gotta pay for it, but
books. Yes, books. Books are cool. Go find secondhand stores, the secondhand bookstores, and you could get like amazing, like I just picked up, let's see, what is it? Where did it go? Hold on, I'll find it. Found it. Okay. Reading is amazing. This is the one that I'm reading right now. Think and Grow Rich with Napoleon Hill.
That one?
This is a revised version.
Oh, I mean, is this your first time reading Think and Grow Rich?
Yes, this one.
Oh, welcome. That's the cornerstone of most millionaires in the world right there, actually.
Oh, yeah. I have a massive list. The last book I just finished was The One Thing.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. So reading is great.
Absolutely. Think and Grow Rich is one of the few books that I actually recommend buying. Otherwise, free, go to library. You know, a lot of libraries you can just order and they send it to you now.
Oh, yeah. I was fortunate to get this book for $5 at a secondhand store.
It's never let go of it. That one, no. There's money hiding in those pages.
Oh, yes. It's so good.
Okay. How about this question? How are you making money? Because I really care about how people are earning the dollars on the show.
Dun, dun. All right. So at this time, because of the recent switch up, I currently am not earning any. I'm $0 at the moment.
Okay. How did you used to make money?
I used to make money. I did a lot of freelancing for art. Mm-hmm. And then I did a lot of like business development and restructuring, and I paid for my time. Yeah, consulting, freelancing.
How did you did you retainer? Do you do hourly?
A lot of times it worked out best if I did hourly and per project base.
Okay. And is that good money?
Yes.
Okay. Because one of my goals on the show is to show people that there are other options that they can do. Maybe they have some hidden resource of knowledge that they've got locked up and they're just too introverted to break their shell because they don't know it's worth anything.
Oh yeah, that's true. Then in that case, now that you open that box up, another source of continuous stream would be I'm a Twitch affiliate streamer.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And through, if you guys didn't know or is interested, once you hit to a certain level, you can unlock subscribers, and your subscribers at base level is $4.95 a month. That goes to you, half of it. Twitch gets the other half, and then you can set up your stream to receive tips or donations. Sometimes I put my little coffee tab, hey, click this if you want to throw me a coffee or something. But it can get really fun and it's really creative. It's really all up to you in regards of how much you want to spend your time and make money from it.
Absolutely. Now, how hard is it to do the stream though? Did you have the background as a streamer? When did you start?
I started literally January 1st, 2017.
Okay, so you've been doing it with over 3 years now, and you've built it steadily. That's wonderful. You consider yourself an introverted or extroverted person?
A blend of both.
Okay.
I like solitude at times to recharge because I like to create, and so I like to sometimes create my own little bubble, and then I can just art it out. Or sometimes I'll do that on stream, and then sometimes I really love hanging out with awesome people and talking and feeding off energy, bouncing back and forth. And so it's been great. It just depends on how my head feels at the time. Because to date, I have 6 concussions. So I have these things called head episodes. And sometimes they can be very chill, a little slow. And then sometimes I'm in full-blown seizure mode.
Oh, that's probably not so fun.
No, not when you're trying to have a consistent stream schedule.
Okay. Let me ask you this. If you could go back in time, either 2014, 2016, that period when you really started getting in the game side, or even back to your Mia Hamm days, whenever you want to go back, you could talk to little Tica.
Okay.
Give her some advice. What would you do? What would you say so that she could build something, bigger, faster, stronger today?
Something bigger, faster, stronger. Let's see. That's a really hard one for me at the moment because I do not regret any decision that has led me up to this point in time because it feels like everything has moved in its own time. So if I had the foresight to just approach me from back then, I would say follow your gut faster, sooner. Dig your heels in, find your true grit, and keep pushing forward. And I think the last part that I would tell myself is, because I already knew from an early age back then that people will always have something negative to say, but that I use that as fuel to break stereotypes. And I just understood it very young. So I would just be like, the world will always have something negative to say, but there will always be an equal energy opportunity to do something positive or negative. So always choose to be the good that you wish to see in the world.
I love it. And there's nothing wrong with having no regrets.
No regrets.
Don't feel bad about not thinking of anything. It's all right.
Oh, no. You're good.
Okay.
And even if I did have regrets, it wouldn't be bad.
Sure. I like to live my life by a Frank Sinatra song, My Way. Regrets, you have a few, but then again, too few to mention.
There you go.
All right. How about this? Do you have any advice for anybody who might want to be a consultant like you, like following your footpaths? Or what advice would you get to get someone to start on that path?
Okay. Just start. I've been asked this a few times, and I think the biggest response that I've given that helped people is it doesn't have to be perfect. Accept yourself as a human, and what you think could help could be small to someone, or it could be massive, and you just don't have the control over knowing. So if you want to start your own consulting business, find a platform. You could go through Twitch, or you could go through LinkedIn Live, and just organically go be present in other people's communities. And then you'll find it.
Here's a question I haven't asked any of the other consultants on my show, but how do you go from giving that advice to then charging for that advice? Because I think a lot of people, and I've seen this over and over again, they're very good with, okay, you should do this, you should do that. But then when it's time to say, I'm not going to tell you what to do until you pay me, they freak out.
Yeah. So here's something that I've figured out that's done really well for me, and it might work for other people, is I offer a unlimited, it's directed, but it's kind of generalized advice for free. Anything I could do for value, because somebody might just need a confirmation of the direction that they're going, or maybe just a overview subject of a new light to walk through. But if someone comes to me and is like, hey, how would you exactly restructure my business financially for the Q4. I was like, okay, now we need to set up a personal DM. Here is my rates, my services. Let's talk about this project. That's how I differentiate the two.
Okay. So general advice is free, specific stuff costs.
Yes.
Beautiful. Okay. Now I'd like to pull back for a second if I can. I want my audience to understand that not everybody I have on my show is perfect. That whether they're having fantastic success today or they've done incredible things in the past, I want everybody to understand that we've all had speed bumps in our life that kind of slow us down or maybe set us back a little bit. So what is something that you have failed at in the past?
Let's see. Something that I failed at in the past was not recognizing when I needed to say no sooner. Early on, I had a huge can-do attitude, and I like to follow through with projects to the T and like perfectionism in a way. And sometimes, whereas some people, perfectionism keeps them from doing or starting, for me, I was like, yes, mine, I can do this. I can help you with this. And I was stacking too much on my plate. And before you know it, I was just like 6 feet underwater, drowning, like, help. And then it caused some really reverse effects on my health with my concussions. And I really had to just wash the slate clean and take a really hard look at personal development and emotional intelligence. So yeah, that was a hard year.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you for sharing. And what would you say is something that you're not very good at now?
Not good at now. Keeping a consistent schedule because my head.
Well, I don't think you can necessarily help that, can you?
No. Yes and no. I try my best.
That's all anybody asks of you, isn't it?
Yes.
Wonderful. All right, Tica, this has been an absolute pleasure. How do people find you? Where are you at on social media? What are your handles?
I am everywhere. I am on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Twitch. I was Snapchat and TikTok. I'm working on TikTok. But Tic Tac Fresh TV.
TicTacFresh.tv or just TV?
Just TV.
Okay, wonderful. Now, before we wrap up, is there anything else you want to talk about or anything I didn't ask you think we needed to cover still?
I think everything was great. It was definitely well-rounded, so I think
Wonderful.
we're good.
Any last pieces of advice?
Last piece of advice I would love to tell everybody is it's just start, and if you fall off your horse, just dust yourself off and get back on it.
Wonderful. Fantastic. Well, Tica, thank you so much for coming on with us today. Your absolute pleasure. Probably the most bubbly and a little weird guest I've had so far.
Yes!
You did it. You got the award. All right. Well, I really genuinely appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having your time.
All right. And Gamerpreneurs, please go back and rewatch this one. She definitely gives some fantastic advice. All right. On that note, I'm going to say, you all take it easy.
Bye!
Hey, if you like this podcast, I'd love to invite you to check out a little bit more about me, Dr. Bradford Carlton, Gamerpreneur. If you go to my website, www.thegamerpreneur.com/bonus, I'm going to give you a free copy of my book, The Warcraft of Business, where I explain my history in both gaming and business and how I brought the two together in order to create some very successful companies and help a lot of people. And all you got to do is pay for shipping and processing, and I'll send you this book. I absolutely know you're going to love it. All right, you all take it easy.